Hi, Betto. How are you?
Hi, Tessy. It's been a long time, huh?
It has been too long, my dear friend. Last time I saw you was in Anabels when you were playing your amazing tunes, and I went behind the board and I was jamming off a little bit with you.
Yeah,
Absolutely amazing.
I think that was December last year, no? No, maybe before. I think it was November, something like that.
Yeah, time
Yeah,
flies. And as a mother, and I work so much, I don't go out so much anymore, but it's always nice because
no,
you keep me in the loop with your amazing music. So,
thank you.
for people who do not know you yet, I will give a little glimpse, but I let you talk the most because I think you're
Okay,
just so inspirational. So
thank you.
Beto is a year-long friend of mine. We met a long time ago and became best friends on the night we met at a private party in a house where you were doing the music as well. And from there on, you have just inspired the world from because there you were not that known yet. And from there,
Yeah.
if I may say, it just spiraled. And now you are that global phenomenon DJ. But it hasn't started like that. Tell us your story.
Yeah, so basically, I come from a very, let's say, conventional background in the sense that no one in my family is like an artist or, a performer. Like my father is a lawyer, my mom works with business management. So, and I was born and raised in Brazil, in São Paulo. I graduated in law school myself back in 2012. And I started DJing when I was in law school. And I started doing really well in Brazil at some private parties. And in 2012, when I was actually graduated in my law school, I was invited to play at the Milan Fashion Week, at the closing party of the Milan Fashion Week. And that was my first gig abroad. And then from that night, actually the organizers of the event, they liked my music so much that they invited me to play on another party they were doing on the following week at Paris Fashion Week. And at that time, I was literally like, I was supposed to submit my essay and I was graduating law school. So it was a bit of, confusing time because my mom wanted to kill me. And, she was like, oh, but I paid 5 years of law school and now you're like traveling to be a DJ. Yeah. So, but then I graduated in December 2012. And then basically I started like DJ in Brazil in 2013. And finally in 2014, I decided to move permanently to Europe. And when I did that, I moved to Ibiza, where I got a contract with a big club. It's actually a big group. It's the Pasha Group that owns the Pasha Club, Leo, a hotel called Destino, where I was the resident DJ. And Destino especially opened lots of doors for me because I was the resident DJ there and I was playing once a week at the pool. Actually started as once a week, and then I started having like an amazing feedback, and they extended my contract for twice a week. And that's basically where everything started for me and where I started meeting interesting people, you know. So I did 2 summers working for the Pasha Group, 2014 and 2015. And from that, I moved to London in the winter. So basically for the first 4 or 5 years until 2018, I was leaving from May until October. I was based in Ibiza. And then from October until May, I would be based in London. That was my life until 2018 when I finally moved permanently to London, basically because my bookings started to become more and more international. And I started to have less bookings in Ibiza and more bookings in different countries, mostly in Europe. I started doing a couple of things in the Middle East too, a couple of things in the US, but I would say 70 to 80% were in Europe, like south of France, Italy, Greece, Spain, lots of things in the UK, in London, and the countryside. And so that was the start of the journey. But I think the big change for me was in 2016 because I basically moved from playing at a big club, for a big crowd, to doing more private events. So basically in 2016, I think that's very much connected with the kind of music that I play, because I do lots of remixes of classics from different eras. And that means I do, let's say, I incorporate rock and pop songs from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s into modern dance music. So basically I get all these songs that are timeless and then everyone knows, regardless of age or nationality. And I try to make them more clubby. And that has become like a huge success in my private events, because I would play, let's say, a remix of the Rolling Stones, Sympathy for the Devil, or Fleetwood Mac, and people would go crazy. I would get like 20 people coming to the DJ booth. Oh my God, how can I get this song? You know, where is it? Why is it not released? Etc. And so 2000, I would say that 2016 was really the year that things started unfolding for me. And that's the year I started doing this really like amazing private events in all kinds, not just weddings, but like film festival, art festivals, like different kinds of things. And yeah, and that's what I'm doing now. Like I have about 60 bookings a year. I did about 55 or 58 bookings last year. Mostly private events. I did a few clubs. I did like Rasputin in Paris. No, Rasputin in Rome, actually. It's a club that is originally from Paris, but they have a franchise in Rome. And then last year I signed a contract with Anabels, which is where I assume you've heard me play the most.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Anabels has been an amazing place because it's a crowd that is exactly the same crowd from the private events that I play all over the world. So when I get there, it's so funny because I see clients that I hadn't seen in like years, you know, and all of a sudden they are there and they are members, you know, because the crowd at Anabels is so international. So there's people who, you know, they're members, but they come, I don't know, twice a year, you know. And now because they announce my night and they really promote, people actually, they plan ahead their trips to London just to hear me play. So Anabels would like, you know, tell the schedule of the year and the 10 dates that I would play in 2019. And people would start literally booking the tables, I don't know, 3 months in advance. And they would come for like a weekend party in London, you know, starting with Anabels on Friday. Mm-hmm. So.
Wow, that is so beautiful and so impressive. And I'm so happy for you because you definitely just deserve the best. And I make sure as well I share your SoundCloud and everything because what you're doing is just mesmerizing.
Thank you.
I love the music because it definitely gives you kind of like you go back in the past with the old tunes, but you just spike them up with some rhythms of the modern world. And I think it's just unique. The way you do it is unique, and I really enjoy it. So
thank you.
Another question to you then. So you're talking about that you're also playing a lot of private events and in clubs, and that you met these amazing people. So if I may ask, who did you play for in the past, and which was your absolute, like, where you were like, wow, I'm playing for that person?
I had a couple of events which are really memorable. I think each event is very specific, you know. So, but I do have, there is a wedding that I played in June 2016, which was an Iranian girl marrying a Swiss guy, and they are both based in London. And it was a wedding for about 350 guests. That was in Puglia, and it was a 3-night wedding. And it was actually the first time that I played a full weekend wedding. And they actually hired me to play every night. There would be other musical acts during the night, but I would always be the main music attraction at the end. So I played like Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Each night was in a different venue with you know, a dinner followed by some music acts, and then ending with a DJ party. The 3 nights were open air. The first night was in a venue which was literally a deck on the sea. So we were literally dancing like above the water, and that was really like one of the most amazing experiences I had. But mainly because I felt like I had the chance to prove myself and to show what I can do in terms of my repertoire. Because playing 3 nights for the same crowd is very challenging, because you need to have a very broad repertoire, considering that I played around 4 hours each night. So it's 12 hours of music. And ideally, you shouldn't repeat any songs. Obviously, I repeated only the songs that the bride asked me to, because she really loved them. But the idea is that you have to make each night special and unique, you know. And that wedding really marked me, because first, it opened lots of doors for me all over the world. You know, I got, I think, at least 10 bookings in the following years from people who were at that wedding or from people who heard about that wedding.
Oh, wow.
That's also where I met my actual girlfriend. And it was just a very, very special event, you know. Like, I think the fact that it was like open air helped a lot, because it was in June, it was very warm, didn't rain, weather was perfect. And this was very, very unique. So this, I would say, was the first one, you know. Following that, I had another one on the same year in Florence. That was really, really amazing production. In 2018, I had an amazing one in Sardinia at Cala di Volpe, the hotel. The same thing, 3 nights. It was a Jewish wedding, so it was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They did an amazing beach party on Saturday afternoon. And to be honest, that's the interesting thing about these weddings, because normally the pre-party ends up being way nicer and more fun than the main night itself, because I feel like people are much more relaxed on the previous night, and the party is not gravitating so much towards the bride and the groom and the ceremony, etc. But it's just like all the friends enjoying the music and dancing and having fun. So I realized that most of these weddings where I play the full weekend, which are my favorites, always the previous night or the day party is where it becomes really memorable. Like this wedding in Puglia, like we had Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and actually the most amazing party was on Thursday, which was actually the shortest one. I literally played for less than 3 hours, but people were such an amazing mood, because imagine, it was people from 20 different nationalities, from US, from the Middle East, from Asia, from everywhere you can imagine. And then you get there and you get all these people together, and most of the time it's people who hadn't seen each other for like years, you know. And then they get there and they see these people they haven't seen in a long time, and they're in this amazing, beautiful place together. So it just really, everything adds together, and you have like an epic moment. So
that you I just got these visuals as well, because I think I remember as well seeing pictures of that wedding, and it really, really looked magical. So as we are running out of time, and I know you have a little surprise for us, but before that, briefly, obviously we're all on lockdown now. How does your industry, how do you cope with being at home and not able to go and play at weddings or in clubs?
look, obviously it's been a very challenging time for me, because I'm used to travel a lot, you know, and I'm always on the move. But now I'm basically using all the time to produce new music, to do new remixes and original songs. I'm in my studio right now, which I'm going to show you a bit of it in a minute. So, you know, I do everything I can to stay home. And I think the most important is to try to stay mentally sane and calm, because at the moment there is nothing we can do apart from that. But I do think that in the future, there is a great positive thing that is going to come out of it, which is the fact that people will appreciate much more the opportunity of being together whenever you are at a party. Because now we are basically desperate to be with other people, with our friends, with family, etc. And one of the things I notice in some of these events is that sometimes it takes time for people to actually realize how special it is to be together with your friends in this amazing destination for a wedding or for a private event, and just have the chance to dance together and celebrate life. And I'm absolutely sure that after all this we're going through, like, people will appreciate it much more than ever, you know?
Oh, I totally am with you on that one. And it's really a time to really go inside and just do your best yourself, and do things you would not normally do at home, you know, take online courses, as you say, write new music. So our time has run out.
Okay.
We have exactly a minute left. So what do you want to share with the world, dear Beto?
I just wanted to show you my DJ gear here. I'm in the studio, so this is where I basically record my live sets when I'm doing something on Zoom, etc. It's a small studio in London. And I wanted to play for you my remix of Florence and the Machine, You Got the Love.
Nice. I'm ready. Well, on these beautiful tunes, I will. On these beautiful tunes, I will send you my love. Thank you so much, guys. Go and just look at his SoundCloud, YouTube videos, everything about Beto, because it's absolutely amazing. And thank you, Beto, for your time. Wishing you a good rest of the day, and we keep in touch, my dear friend. Love you loads.
Thank you, Tessy. Take care. Big kiss. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.